Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, come back on the stand, please. Back on the record, same appearances as previously noted. Mr. Olsiams is going to mark exhibit number 2, which is a picture. I have that memorized. There you go. All right, thank you. And for the record, I have a real copy. Thank you. All right, you may begin.
So again, Mr. Rimacombe, does that look familiar to you,
What are you referring to?
the picture?
This picture?
Yes,
Your Honor, just to be clear, we're talking about exhibit 2.
yes.
Yes,
you.
okay, exhibit 2 for the record.
I imagine it's your driveway, but don't normally see this or I've never seen this vantage point, so.
But do you recognize the general area?
I
Specifically
think,
the upper
I
left
believe
part?
this is your driveway.
I just have to stop you. We have to be very clear that only one person speaks at a time. It's very difficult for the court reporter to take down 2 people speaking. So we have to be very careful of not doing that, okay?
Okay. So you're familiar with this general area. You see the common roadway beyond the cars parked in my driveway. You recognize that roadway as the roadway you take to get to your property?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay. So the upper left part of the picture, you see where that car is parked behind the trees or the foliage? You see where that car is parked?
I see a vehicle back there.
Can I just approach and to point out and make sure we're talking about the same vehicle?
You may.
So I'm specifically talking about this vehicle here.
Okay.
In the trees.
All right.
Okay. Are
And
you,
for the record, can you please state when you have a seat, which vehicle you're speaking of there?
can I show you? It's this vehicle here.
Oh, all right.
In the bush, kind of behind the.
All right. Yes, for the record, there is a truck with the trailer. It is the vehicle to the left of the truck with the trailer hidden behind some trees and other foliage.
Are you familiar with that area, Mr. Brimcombe?
Yes.
Is that where you put up no parking signs?
I can't see where a no parking sign is, but I did put up no parking signs over in that general vicinity, yes.
Okay. So again, back to the survey, Mr. Rimacombe, isn't that area the same area referenced here in the survey that is actually Mr. Donahue's property, and it is an access easement?
What's your question?
Is that the same area in the picture as what we see in the survey?
The survey doesn't show the road, so it's hard to tell. In fact, it's impossible to tell exactly where the survey covers. And the survey doesn't match in the picture.
Well, where on the survey is the access road that goes to your property then, Mr. Rimacombe?
The road winds across multiple properties. The road winds across the Miller's property, the road winds across my property, and the road winds across the Donahue's property.
You had the property surveyed by a surveyor last year, didn't you, Mr. Brimcombe?
I don't recall if it was 24 or 23.
You had the property surveyed by a professional surveyor last year, didn't you, Mr. Brimcombe?
Objection asked and answered.
Oh, he said 24, 23.
Sustained, he said 24 or 23.
So he did, yes or no? Yes, correct?
I had the property surveyed, yes.
Okay, so then you are quite familiar with this area, the survey, and where the access road is in comparison to the survey and where it is on this picture. Isn't the area that,
Objection, I think there was a question there, but he didn't wait for
I'm
the
getting
answer.
to it. Let me get to the question.
Well, then I'm gonna object to compound, because now there's 2 or 3 or 4 questions.
Yes, sustained. You can't have, it actually stated, you stated a statement before you were going to a question. You have to simply just ask a question.
You recognize the access road in this picture, correct, Ms. Brimacombe? You recognize the access road.
I see the road, yes.
Okay, so where is that access road on this survey?
The survey does not show the access road.
It has to show the access road, Mr. Brimacombe. Where is it in relation to the property? It has to be on here somewhere. Where is it?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object for 2 reasons. Number one, I think Mr. Paulson really wants to testify, and he's trying to testify.
No, I'm asking
And
him,
then-
where is the
And then he's asking for
picture?
a legal conclusion as to a surveyor. Mr. Brimacombe is not a surveyor.
Sustained on both, for both reasons.
Is the, I'm back to the survey, Mr. Brimacombe, lot 3. Right where is the survey, is the access road right next to lot 3 at 10 or 11 o'clock position next to lot 3?
Objection, I'm confused. I don't understand the question.
I don't either, sustained.
I'm trying to get to ultimately the part that is an access easement is,
Again, Mr. Alsiams, I'm stopping you right there because it sounds like you want to testify. This sounds like all of the things that you can say when you provide your testimony. Right now, you're asking Mr. Brimacombe his version or his side. You can state all that you want as it relates to this picture and this survey that you want to provide when it's your time to provide testimony.
so back to the picture, Mr. Brimacombe, in the upper left corner, I pointed out that vehicle to you. You're claiming that that's your property, correct?
Objection foundation, Your Honor, we're talking about a specific car through some bushes. Where that car is exactly parked, nobody can tell from this picture. I don't know how Mr. Brimacombe could actually answer that question without having more information than what's on this picture.
And if I can respond, he has been out there for
Well-
30 years. He knows exactly this area and he knows exactly the
I'm gonna
road.
sustain it. I'm gonna say, Mr. Brimacombe, do you know whose property that car that is to the left of the truck that has the trailer attached? Do you know whose property that car is parked on? Yes or no?
Which car?
The same car you're asking about.
As I stated in my testimony, the road winds through multiple lots. Actually,
I'm just asking a yes or no.
you can't
No, yes
tell
or no?
because the survey,
Mr. Brimacombe,
no, you cannot tell. Sorry, I apologize.
his answer is no.
So we've gotten to the, you agree that I think we're agreeing as to what area of this general, of your property, my property, the entire island of what we're talking about, correct, Mr. Brimacombe? It's this area that is open next to this access roadway that you put up no parking signs, correct?
I'm not sure what the question is.
Do you understand that area of the general island I'm talking about? Let's get to the understanding about the part of the island that I'm talking about. Do you understand that we are talking about this area that was clear and open next to the access road that is actually not your property, but Mr. Donahue's property, that you took upon yourself to put up no parking
I'm
signs when
gonna
it's not
stop
your
you right
property?
here. Mr. Olsiams, I have to understand all of this so I can understand it, so I can make a decision. You are talking me in circles that I'm not understanding anything. If I can't understand anything, how can I make a reasonable and sound judgment and decision in this case? Because all I'm hearing is words, names, words. And it's spinning my head in circles.
Okay,
And I can't understand it by looking at this picture, either Donahue or Miller or Brimacombe, Donahue, Access Way, easement.
and I
Button your
apologize for that.
questions up.
He's been out there for 30 years. You've never been out there. So I'm trying to assume what he knows and what you don't know. I'm gonna start from basics to make the connection to this picture, to this survey, and how he lied on the affidavit. Okay, so I understand that you haven't been there.
And
So it's
very
difficult.
brief, short questions so I can follow
Okay.
along.
Do you know the area of the island that I'm talking about, Mr. Brimacombe? It's the open area next to the access road that is close to your propane tanks that you put up no parking signs.
I believe so.
Okay, and isn't it true, Mr. Brimacombe, that you've complained over the years of people parking in that area? From my property, of either my family, my guests, or people, you've complained that people have parked in that area, correct?
I've complained when people have parked on my property.
Yes or no, Mr. Brimacombe? You've complained to the various people. I think, did you call the police or the county official? This is-
Compounding the questions.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna
Is this
ask this.
the-
I'm asking the question for you. Mr. Brimacombe, you have placed no parking signs up somewhere near two tanks, propane tanks, correct?
Yes,
This is a yes or no question after this. Have you complained about people parking near those no parking signs?
yes,
Thank you.
Next question.
So isn't it true, Mr. Brimacombe, that you do not own that property, that you put up no parking signs for, that you've parked there yourself? I'll certainly get it. You do not own that. You agree that you do not own that property, Mr. Brimacombe?
Objection, what property is he talking about there? Is he talking about where the cars park or where he put up this no parking signs? I think there's a.
No, we're talking about the same area. It's the same area of real estate on the island.
It's sustained. And it's very unclear by your question. And so that's, did you see how I asked him those questions? That's how you have to ask questions. It's baby steps. Baby
I'm
steps.
trying, Your Honor. I'm trying.
And that's why
Hold my hand a little
that-
bit.
I cannot, I can't do that.
I
That's
got you.
why
I
it's
got it.
very
I got it.
advisable to get an attorney.
I got it. So at least we now both understand the area of the island I'm talking about. Correct, Mr. Brimacombe? Area next to the access road, close to your septic tanks, that you took it upon yourself to put up no parking signs.
Are they septic or propane?
I'm sorry, propane tanks. Thank you. We're understanding the same area I'm talking about, correct? Which is, correct?
I don't understand your question.
Are
All
we
right,
on the
my
same?
question is, his question is, do you own the property where you put the no parking signs?
Yes,
Yes, he does. Next question.
Again, back to the survey, Mr. Brimacombe. Doesn't the survey clearly show you do not own that property?
the survey doesn't show anything because it doesn't show the road and it doesn't show my property. The survey shows your property and the Donahue's property.
But Mr. Brimacombe, the access road has to be adjacent to these lots, Mr. Brimacombe.
I don't-
There's no question.
What's the question?
There is no question. Please ask a question.
Okay, I'll just ask a direct question. Mr. Brimacombe, isn't the property that you're claiming is your property really this access easement that's on this survey?
I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a surveyor.
And for the record, I can't tell either. I don't know where Mr. Brimacombe's property is. I don't know what we're talking about.
I'll get into that in my testimony, Your Honor. I'll lay the foundation for that.
All right.
So Mr. Brimacombe, have you ever parked either your vehicles, your relatives' vehicles, your friends' vehicles in this area called the access easement?
As I've stated, this doesn't show where the road is. Therefore, I don't know where people are parking relative to this survey.
Have you parked your cars or your relatives' cars or your friends' cars in the open area that we have now understand that we both are talking about by your propane tanks that you put up no parking signs? Have you parked there?
I've parked my cars on my property.
Objection, he's not answering the question. Have you parked your cars in the area that you put up no parking signs? And that is this area you and I have talked about that are near your propane tanks. Have you parked there?
I've parked my cars on my property.
Your Honor, he's not answering the question.
He's answering the question as far as I can tell.
I'm asking if he's parked
As
it.
far as I can tell, he's answered the question. I don't know any further because I don't know who actually owns that property near there. Because you want to know why? I don't, because I have no testimony that states that. All I know is what Mr. Brimacombe is testifying to, and he did. He stated that. Asked, answered, next question.
Have any of your relatives parked there?
Irrelevant, next question. Cars have been parked there. Mr. Brimacombe stated he owns that property. He put up those signs. Next question.
Okay, so Mr. Brimacombe, if that indeed is not your property, then you were not truthful in your affidavit, correct?
Objection assumes not facts, not in evidence.
At this point, sustained.
Now, back to the picture, Mr. Brimacombe. This picture I'm talking about here. Assuming a trailer is one vehicle or one space, it takes up one vehicle. How many vehicles do you count in that picture?
This picture shows 5 vehicles, if you count the trailer as one vehicle.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Court count 6.
Where's 6, Your Honor? I don't see 6.
One parked in that little access way that you're talking about,
Mhm.
the truck, the trailer.
That's 3, then 4, and then 5.
Then I have the big one that I see, and then one behind the big one that I see, and then I have a black truck to the side that has a license plate that's white.
Yeah, there's 5 vehicles there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting the trailer as a vehicle. I see 6. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I'm talking about the driveway.
Oh, in the
Yeah, in the
driveway. I
driveway.
see 6 in the
Yes.
picture.
Yes. So, Mr. Brimacombe, how many vehicles do you see parked in my driveway?
If you count the trailer as one, I see 5 vehicles in your driveway.
Okay. So would you agree then, Mr. Brimacombe, it's not physically possible to park 16 vehicles on my property? Would you agree with that?
Not necessarily, no, I wouldn't agree with that.
So where would you park the other 9 vehicles on my property?
Well, this trailer is an oversized trailer. The truck is an oversized truck. It's a big pickup in the front. This doesn't show what you can park in your garage. Can be multiple cars off to the right side of this picture. How many exact cars fit in your driveway? I don't know.
Isn't it true, Mr. Brimacombe, again, not defying the laws of physics and space and I can see, we're talking about, you see 5, you're claiming 16. In and around where, I'm struggling to understand how you could have witnessed parking 16 vehicles out in this area. Can you explain how the 16 vehicles were parked?
So Your Honor, objection, that's been covered. It's asked.
No, it hasn't been covered. We didn't have this
We're not-
picture. We didn't have this picture.
We aren't,
We now have the picture.
it's mischaracterizing his testimony from before, because we're not talking about just the driveway before. We were talking about all about. What
Exactly. So I'm
he talked
asking,
about the Miller's property, the Donahue's property, his property, and Mr. Alsium's property.
Sustained because document 98, one of the exhibits from the last hearing, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vehicles parked in that picture alone, not parked on your property. And if I add 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, there's a total of 14, let's just say.
no, I'll get to that, Your Honor. I'll
There
get to
could
that.
be,
There
I
isn't
see
14.
almost 14.
I'll get
And
to
so that's only one side, and then you can add others on the other side.
I'll
So
get to that.
theoretically, I'm seeing, theoretically, there could be 16.
And I'll show you there can't be. And we'll get to that in a second. We'll make that connection.
All right, then
Okay.
make it quick.
Okay, have exhibit number 7. I don't know if you want to give Mr. Vermicombe exhibit number 7. Is that what you were referring to, Judge?
I am
Exhibit 7?
not certain. It was document 28 that I pulled up. I'm not sure.
What I'm looking at is.
Yes,
document-
exhibit 7, yes,
Exhibit 7?
yes.
Okay. You want to show Mr. Brimacombe exhibit 7?
Would you like me to pick up my monitor and show
I
it to
can
him?
show him mine.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
It looks like you have the original. I don't know why you have a marked one. Oh, maybe you have
This
his.
was his exhibit.
Then you can show him exhibit 7. I have it on my computer.
Okay. That's exhibit 7, Mr. Brimacombe. Want to look at it for a minute?
You may keep it and look at it. He's gonna ask you questions about it.
So did you take that picture, Mr. Brimacombe?
I believe so, but there's so many car pictures from your renters. I don't know.
Again, you've been out on the island for how many years? How many years have you been out to this island, Mr. Brimacombe?
About 43, I believe.
Okay, so you're very familiar with this whole area, the road, the perspective of this picture, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so now take the picture that I gave you that was taken from the garage. Isn't it true, Mr. Brimacombe, that exhibit 7 is actually a picture taken from over here?
Over
And
here doesn't
shows-
explain anything to the court, nor does it explain anything on the record.
May I approach the witness?
No, I know that the witness may understand what you mean by over here, but over
I'm gonna ask him
here,
a question specifically about the picture. Wasn't the picture of exhibit 7 taken here on this picture?
and again, when you read a transcript, and let's just for happy, fun giggles, say that this is gonna go to the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals is not gonna know what over here means. We have to use words because words get taken down by the court reporter. Those words get read by me, the judge, when I make a decision, or the Court of Appeals if it gets appealed. The Court of Appeals is not going to understand what over here means. So you have to explain on the record in words what over here is on the exhibit.
May I approach the witness
But
and ask him?
But you can't then approach the witness and say, Mr. Brimacombe, over here, over here.
No, I'm gonna ask him a specific point on the picture. Is this where the picture was
And you're
taken?
gonna specifically describe that point on the record
In
so that
words.
a person who is blind can understand what you're saying,
Okay,
okay?
yep,
All right,
right. May I approach?
you may.
Mr. Brimacombe, isn't it true that exhibit 7, that picture was taken approximately where the number 07 is? And this picture,
But you're not using
Over
words
here,
like to the left
07.
of, to the right of, the big tree.
here's. the
I
07.
understand what you're saying because I can see it.
That's why I'm trying to make that
But when the
connection.
Court of Appeals reads it, they're not gonna read 07. They're gonna need to know the big tree to the left of the driveway, the big tree that is 50
That's
feet.
507 on the picture. Even more specific than the big tree.
They look at transcripts.
I know, that's why I'm saying the bit 07. Isn't it true that the picture was taken from over here near the 07?
Your Honor, may I interject something here too?
You certainly may.
I see pages 1 through 4 with pictures on it. Page 5 of Exhibit 7 looks like it's just an extra page. I'm not sure what happened there, but I think we actually need to identify which page we're talking about too, because otherwise everybody's gonna be confused.
We
On
certainly
Exhibit
do.
7?
Yes, it's 5 pages long.
Approach.
You may.
Page 104 of Exhibit 7.
Well, you can, but I mean, you probably want to look at all four of the pages that have pictures before you ask questions, if you're going to ask, because it has multiple pictures that appear to be taken on the very same day
Yep.
of multiple cars.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So isn't it true then, Mr. Vermacombe, that page 1 of Exhibit 7 that picture was taken near the number 07 in the upper right corner of Defense Exhibit number 2?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So now if you go to the other pictures in Exhibit 7, aren't those pictures that are taken down the access road that is the same road in Defense Exhibit number 2, on the top of it, Defense Exhibit number 2? That's the same access road that's represented in the pictures in 1 through 4 of Exhibit 7.
What was the question?
Aren't the remaining pictures that are taken down the property that's shown here in Defense Exhibit number 2 at the top of the property in back of the pickup truck and that farthest vehicle? It's taking pictures of the same area of my driveway, correct?
From a different vantage point.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So again, you've claimed that there were 16 vehicles parked. The judge said that based on a bunch of pictures, she sees 16.
I didn't say I saw 14.
Okay, so again, those pictures that you based on you coming up with 14 really is a picture of the back side of the driveway. This part right here.
That's exactly how I understand it to be. Yes.
Right. So at most, even with 5 vehicles in the driveway and the other vehicles, the most that you could ever park there is 8 or 9 vehicles, even on property that is not necessarily ours that he's claiming is his. So again, pointing out isn't it true, again, Mr. Vermacombe, isn't it true that you lied on this affidavit, that you said 16 because you wanted to embellish and create a huge impact, that there's so many vehicles out on the island that it's affecting your enjoyment, and that you lied on this affidavit, Mr. Vermacombe, that there weren't ever 16 vehicles on my property, near my property, or on your property, or the Miller's property, or the Donahue's property? Did you lie in your affidavit about how many vehicles you stated were on various properties?
You can probably predict what I'm gonna say. Objection, argumentative, he's testifying, he's making a closing argument.
It's a simple question.
No, it's not a simple question.
Did you lie in your
It's
affidavit?
9 questions in one.
Did you lie in your affidavit?
It's sustained, because it is. It's like, it really is 9 questions in one. It is argumentative. It's all those things. Okay, now here's the deal. You can ask that question that you just asked right now. That question, exactly how you asked it, you can ask right now. Ask him. That question right now.
Mr. Vermacombe, isn't it true that you lied in your affidavit about how
Not
many
like that.
vehicles? Did you lie in your affidavit, Mr. Brimacombe?
Objection argumented.
I'm gonna allow it. He can ask that exact question.
Did you lie in your affidavit, Mr. Brimacombe?
No, I didn't lie on my affidavit.
Then explain to us,
Next question.
please
And there's no
explain
more
to,
explanations. We've already went through it over and over and over again with multiple objections, with multiple sustaining of those objections. We're beating a dead horse.
okay,
Horse has been dead for weeks. I don't even know if that's proper to say anymore. I don't even know what's politically correct anymore, but horses. I love horses.
I think we understand what you're talking about. So again, back to paragraph number 7, Mr. Brimacombe, it's your testimony that you physically counted 20 people at a certain time on my property, correct?
I don't have the exact quote from the affidavit. But if it's in the affidavit, that's my statement.
And you testified that you kept track of the individual 20 people. Did you have a notepad? Did you say, well, I didn't overcount this person or double? How did you know you didn't double count somebody or you actually counted 20 people? How do you know you didn't make a mistake?
I believe I testified earlier that I talked to the renters as well as when I went by on the boat and they're down on the beach, you can see how many people are there.
Did you take notes?
I counted.
Objection, you didn't answer the question. Did you take notes, Mr. Brimacombe?
Yes or no?
No, I didn't take notes.
So it's possible you could have made a mistake. Is it possible, Mr. Brimacombe?
I can count to 20.
That's not what I asked you. It's a yes or no question. Is it possible because
Counting
because you
20
didn't make,
people, no, I didn't make a mistake.
it's not possible you made a mistake? Is that your testimony?
Objection asked and answered.
He didn't answer it. I'm asking him, is it possible you made a mistake? Are you testifying, no, it's not possible?
Yeah, I'll object again. He said I didn't make a mistake. I counted to 20.
Sustained.
Have you ever been on my property without my permission, Mr. Brimacombe?
I came up to your property
Yes or
multiple
no question?
times.
Yes or no question, Mr. Brimacombe? Have you ever been on my property without my
Yes.
permission? That's trespassing, isn't it, Mr. Brimacombe?
Objection calls for legal conclusion.
That is a legal conclusion that is sustained.
So you admit, Mr. Brimacombe, that you trespassed on my
Same
property.
objection.
Sustained.
Okay, paragraph number 8, Mr. Brimacombe. And I'll read it. Defendant's real property is not designed to accommodate that many people, which I don't know what we're talking, how many we're talking about there at one time. Is that your testimony, Mr. Brimacombe?
Is that what the affidavit said?
No, you should be able to remember what.
Stop. Yes, that is what the affidavit said.
Then that's my testimony.
Okay. Are you a accommodations expert? How did you draw that conclusion that there are, my property is not designed to accommodate that many people, which I assume you say is 20. Are you an accommodation expert?
I've been told by the
Yes or
people
no
at the-
question? Yes or no question?
I
Mr.
don't even know what an accommodations expert is.
How
I
is-
would guess, Mr. Olseams, you mean to say, are you a septic engineer? Do you design
I'll get
septic
to that. I'll get to
systems?
that. I'll get to that.
I don't believe an accommodation.
Well, that's the word that he used. He used
exhibit.
accommodate. That's his testimony.
But I don't think an accommodations engineer exists.
Exactly. So I'm trying to get at what exactly did he use as his basis to determine that? and I'm going off of his testimony.
Then perhaps you should use real words that mean real things, because an accommodation engineer does not exist. So perhaps you should ask him in a different way that has a proper meaning.
Do you have any experience with designing septic systems, Mr. Brimcombe?
No,
Were you involved with the design of my property?
no.
Did I ever give you a tour of my property?
I believe so, a couple decades back when you first moved in.
Okay, all right. So what are you using as a basis for you to say that, and again, you're saying that many people, what are you using as a basis to determine that this is the X amount of people I can have at my property?
I've spoken to the people at Burnett County. Your septic system is not designed according to Burnett County.
Objection, he's not a septic expert.
He asked the question, Your Honor. He's
I'm
answering. it.
asking him what he used as a basis to determine that. I'm not asking, he's testifying what else someone else said.
And that's where he got his answer. So he answered your question. Next question.
Mr. Brimacombe, how many bathrooms do you have on your property? At your house? On the island? How many bathrooms are there?
4.
And how many are half baths? How many are full baths?
They all have showers, tubs. One tub.
Okay, and what's the maximum number of people you've had at your property there on the island?
I don't know.
Again, you said that it was over 10, and I asked you if it was over 20. Have you ever had more than 20 people at your property at one time?
My brother had a wedding there a couple decades back. And so, yeah, we had more than 20 people.
And how many bedrooms are you have in that property?
I'm going to skip to the chase. Have you ever rented your property on Airbnb or in any of those other places?
No, ma'am.
So have you ever needed to have Burnett County zoning or anybody come in to determine if your septic system has the capacity to serve a certain amount of individuals?
I haven't, but when we did the remodel and we added space, we worked with Burnett County to make a septic system that was big enough to have all the bathrooms and the number of people that the cabin can hold. It's a large septic system.
And that's how you determined how many people your house can accommodate with your septic system?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, move on from this.
So you've had more than 20 people at your property.
I said move on from that.
How many times did you witness there being 20 people at my property? In July of that year, how many times did you witness or claim to have seen 20 people at my property?
I'm not sure the question, Your Honor. He referenced to July, then he didn't say year.
Well, his affidavit
The
is July of
affidavit
2023.
The affidavit, when they're talking about 20 individuals, doesn't say when.
How many times do you claim to have witnessed 20 people or more at my property, Mr. McComb?
I'm going to allow that question if you recall.
Multiple times.
Okay, so can you put a number? Are we going back 40 years, 30 years? Is it 5 times, 10 times? What? How many? Is it more than 5 times?
I don't recall.
Okay. So isn't it true, Mr. McComb, that assuming that what you're saying is correct, that if we take 365 days a year, there might be a couple occasions where there are 20 people at my property, but the lion's share, just like your property, is vacant most of the time, correct? In other words, let me rephrase the question. Isn't it true that there are not 20 people at my property every single day, 365 days a year? Is that correct?
Yes.
And you don't have more than 20 people at your property 365 days a year, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So really what we're talking about here is a summer. And isn't it true then, Mr. Brimacombe, that what you're alleging or claiming is that in a summer in any particular year, you've claimed to have witnessed a couple times, a handful of times, that there are 20 people or more at my property?
I didn't claim a specific number, nor did I claim that it was in the summer. You've
But it's a
rented,
handful of times. Is it 5 times or less a year, Mr. Brimacombe?
I didn't make a claim.
Is it 5 times or less per year, per summer?
I haven't counted it like that. As far as renters and renting weekends,
Non-responsive objection. I'm asking him a simple question. Isn't it true, Mr. Brimacombe, that we're talking about 5 times or less per year?
Again, if you object, then that means you want the court to do something. You
I'd
keep
like to
talking.
answer the question.
So what question would you like him to answer?
Isn't it true, Mr. Brimacombe, that you at most witnessed 5 times or less per summer, per year of 20 people or more at my property?
over the years that you've rented, which is a lot of
Objection.
years.
He's not answering the question. Isn't it true? Yes or no?
Yes or no, if you recall?
Yes or no? I lost the question. What's the question?
Isn't it true?
Stop with, isn't it true?
Okay,
That is what confuses everybody. Isn't it true? Because it sounds like you're trying to testify yourself and it gets, isn't it true? Whatever, 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 I want to have come across, and there's a question.
you've testified that your property, like mine, Mr. Brimacombe, is vacant most of the year, correct?
Actually, that's not how he testified. That's not his testimony. Stop adding things into your questions. Ask him a question. You want to, your question is taking all the words of all the universe and all the circles that you're trying to do. Mr. Brimacombe, during the course of a year, have you seen renters in an amount of 20, up to 20 people,
5 times.
5 times
a
or
year.
more a year? Or less, 5 or less, at least 5 times. If you recall,
I don't recall.
Certainly, it's not every day, correct, Mr. Brimacombe, of 365 days a year?
asked and answered. Next question.
So how many times would you, what's your testimony as to how many times you saw 20 people or more at my property?
Are you asking from the inception of the date that you started renting out your property? Are you
No,
asking?
it is, I've had friends and relatives, it's not renters, it doesn't matter if it's renters or not. I'm talking about guests, whoever. What is your testimony as to how many times let's just go total. Total, Mr. Brimacombe, to your recollection over all the years, how many times have you witnessed there being 20 or more people at my property?
I have no idea.
Is it less than 5?
Less than 5 over all the years?
Yeah.
No,
10?
I have no idea.
Mr. Brimacombe, are you aware that the whole idea of a county determining whether or not there can be certain amount of people at a property is not based on infrequent, just like your property? Are you aware that everybody understands that every once in a while, you're gonna have more than 20 people at a property, and that does not damage the septic system when you have 20 people at a property for a weekend out of 365 days a year? Are you aware of that?
Objection, Your Honor. Compound legal conclusion. He's not a septic expert. Probably enough for now.
He's the one that is saying that it cannot accommodate, He's the one that claiming to be an expert in his affidavit. He's saying it can't accommodate that. What is he using as a basis to decide that?
Mr. Olsiams, the objection from Mr. Anderson is sustained. Mr. Brimacombe has never testified that he's an expert. He never states in his affidavit that he's an expert. He's testified as to how he received that information. I have it in my notes. He called Burnett County. He asked Burnett County. Burnett County gave him information. You called it hearsay. That's how he got the information. Next question.
Okay, we'll move on to number 9, Mr. Brimacombe. You state that defendants and their renters put items of personal property on plaintiff's real estate. Okay. You say defendants. Okay, what you're testifying to is Suzanne or myself. Okay, so what is your testimony, Mr. Brimacombe, that you witnessed either myself or Suzanne putting items of personal property? And now you say plaintiffs, so there's the Millers, the Donahues. What is your exact evidence that Suzanne or I placed items of personal property on, this is plaintiffs, we'll just say on your property? What is your, did you witness Suzanne or I put personal items on your property?
Your family, you.
Objection, it's a yes or no question.
If you can answer yes or no.
Did you witness Suzanne or I?
Yes,
And when did you witness that?
many times over the years.
When, okay. And give us one time, what was one time that you witnessed that?
If you recall.
There was a New Year's Eve. You had snowmobiles, you had trailers, you had vehicles over on my property. I walked onto your property, came up to your back door, knocked on the back door and said, Carl, you know you're not supposed to park on my property. Move your stuff.
Okay, so back to the survey, Mr. Brimacombe. All right. The survey says that you don't own any property around my property.
Objection, Your Honor. That's not what the survey said, and it's a legal conclusion.
Thanks.
Mr. Brimacombe, to the survey, where is your property on this survey? Is it on this survey?
No, my property's not on this survey.
Okay. So again, where are you claiming that we parked a snowmobile trailer on your property? If it's not on this, where exactly are you claiming that we parked our snowmobiles on your property, Mr. Brimacombe?
My property is on the west side of the road.
Okay, wait a
And-
minute. Can you refer to this?
No, because I testified that the road is not on that survey.
So where's your property on the survey then, Mr. Brimacombe?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm telling you both right now. You get today. Today is it. That's it. Okay? So
Thank you.
we're almost to noon. And so if we don't get to you being able to testify, Mr. Olsiams, it's on you. So today is it. This is all you have. So if you want to continue to play around and circle around 15 million times as to what access road and who parked where and who owns what property with the no parking signs, and if Mr. Brimacombe is a septic expert, or if he spoke to Burnett County, or if he's this kind of accommodations expert, that's on you. And that's all the testimony I will use to make my decision. You have today. That is it.
So again, isn't it true, Mr. Brimacombe, that you lied about that on your affidavit as well, that I did not?
I'm going to say, asked and answered. He indicated he never lied on his affidavit. I'm getting very frustrated with your questioning. Because you could either retain an attorney or figure out how to do it correctly.
Where in your property did I park the snowmobile trailer, Mr. Brimacombe?
My property is not clearly put here on the survey, so I don't know how to answer your question.
Generally, where was the trailer, this mythical snowmobile trailer, where was it parked on your property?
Your Honor, I'm gonna not object to the word mythical. I'm not sure where that came from, but it's a little odd word, but just making a record of the odd word.
It was noted in my head as well.
Simple question, where, describing your property, where was it parked?
My property is on the west side of the road and cuts across to the east side of the road. Your trailer, your vehicles, your guest vehicles, if they're parked to the west, it's on my property. If they're parked to the north, it's on the Miller's property. If they're parked to the south, it's on the Donahue's property. Your property ends at the end of the driveway. Anything that's not in your driveway
Objection,
and it's a
non-responsive.
vehicle,
How is that non-responsive?
I asked him specifically on his property where it's parked, not the Millers, not the Donahue's. I said specifically, where on your property was this trailer parked? It's a simple question. Where on your property, not the Millers, not the, I'm saying on your property, Mr. Brimacombe.
All right, Mr. Brimacombe was a snowmobile, either a snowmobile or a snowmobile trailer or something related to I'll use his word, mythical snowmobile. Was any of those things parked on your property or?
on my property, yes.
Yes. Where on your property was it parked? You don't have to be, you don't have to say 3 feet from this or that or the other. Was it on?
The west side of the road is mostly my property. These vehicles in this instance and other instances, if it's on the west side of the road, is on my property.
The west side of the road is your property. Thank you.
No, you say you've been out at the island for 40 years? 42, what was your testimony?
43 was his testimony.
Okay, so you've witnessed myself using and placing items on the general area of the island for, ever since I've been out there for at least 30 years, correct? You've seen me operate.
Objection vague, ambiguous. I don't, what are we talking about?
I don't know either, so it's sustained.
Mr. Brimacombe, isn't it true, I get to use that phrase again, but isn't it true that I have parked and placed snowmobile trailers, equipment, ATVs on various parts of the island for 30 years? Correct?
By definition, yeah, you've placed vehicles at various parts of the island for 30 years.
Right. So are you familiar with the term adverse possession in the law?
Vaguely familiar.
Okay, so you agree that I've been out on the island for 30 years, correct? Approximately?
It's my understanding that you bought your property about 1996, so that's roughly 30 years.
Okay, so isn't it true that you have not complained about parking or using any of your alleged property up until about 2 or 3 years ago?
My family and I have asked you, your family, your guests, your renters to
Objection,
move.
yes or no?
I'm gonna say adverse possession is it's a legal issue and you have to possess hostily. And you have to do so.
Well, not hostily, you don't.
Oh, yeah, that's part of it. It really is. I'm a judge. I know you have to hostily.
But you've been
do
possessing it for the required amount of time and they don't say anything about it. It's
But you
your
have
property.
to hostily do it.
Well-
He can't give you permission to do it. He can't be like, it's
I
okay.
get it, but I'm trying to get his testimony that I have been using these parts of the property for more than the required statutory time to make an adverse possession claim.
And
So
so
I'm asking
you have
him
to
what,
hostily do it though, hostily,
so isn't it-
hostily, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would also object on relevance grounds. The court has already ruled on the claim of adverse possession. It's been dismissed. It's not an issue for today's hearing.
Sustained. Let's move on.
isn't it true, Mr. Morocco, that I'm claiming that's my property?
Objection, speculation, foundation.
Sustained.
Okay, so I'll skip to number 11 on your affidavit, Ms. Vermicombe. Defendants have trespassed on affiant, which is you, affiant's real property. So defendants, that's Suzanne or myself. What is your testimony you're claiming that I specifically trespassed on your property? When have I trespassed on your property?
You, your family, your wife, your children, your guests, your
Objection, yes
renters
or no
have.
question.
No, it's not a yes or no.
It's not a yes.
I asked them me. I said me specifically. I said, what is your testimony that I trespassed?
Sustained, because it's not a yes or no question. When you say, when do you say that I trespassed? He can't say no, yes, because you're asking when. That means a particular date and time or an idea of a date and time. It's not a yes or no question.
When did I trespass on your property, Ms. Vermicombe?
You, your family, your guests, your renters
That's
have
a
trespassed on my property
non-responsive
many times
objection.
over multiple years.
I don't know if it is because you're not letting him answer, because you want to know what I said when you were talking over him?
He's talking about.
Stop talking over me! Stop it! You are frustrating me beyond frustration, Mr. Olsiums. Because you keep trying to dictate and to control this hearing with nonsensical questions. And you keep talking over everyone. He answered your question. You just didn't hear it because you kept talking over him.
It's a simple when question.
And he answered it. Did you hear
He was
him?
talking about other people.
Did you just talk over me again? Yes, stop it. My court reporter is trying to do her job. And she cannot do her job when you continue to talk over everybody. All the time, everybody, because you need the first, the middle, and the last word. I would love to excuse your wife and dismiss her from this case. I would love to not have her be in the frustration of this matter. But I can't. This is chaos right now, Mr. Olsiums. We have been here for almost 2.5 hours. And so far, I have gotten very little in testimony. So, Mr. Brimacombe answered your question. He stated that multiple times over the years. But again, you wouldn't have heard that because you spoke over him. All right? Now, do you have more questions? Because again, we're going to break here in about 20 minutes. And then we'll come back. But that's, again, all you're going to get when I stop for the afternoon. So you're not going to get to testify for 4 hours or 5 hours or 12 hours. All right? This is it. Next question.
When have you witnessed Suzanne trespassing on your property? Because you
Over
say
the
defendants in your affidavit.
What's your question?
You say defendants in your affidavit. So I'm asking, when have you witnessed Suzanne trespass on your property?
You, Suzanne, your children, your guests, and your friends have parked on my property and trespassed on my property many times over multiple years. And I've asked you to move
Can I
your
object, Your
vehicles.
Honor, or not?
Is your
Not
objection
responsive.
non-responsive?
I said
When?
exactly.
He said over the years. What you can then do, what an attorney would usually do then, because we got an answer, is would say, all right, now, Mr. Brimacombe, can you be more specific? Now, in the past, year, how many times would you recall that we have trespassed? In the past 2 years, how many times do you think that we have trespassed? In the past 5 years, how many times do you think we have trespassed? That's how you ask questions, Mr. Olseams. But I can't be your attorney because I have to be the judge. That's why it's highly advisable you hire an attorney to do this job. Because we'd be probably done by now. Because when I scheduled this, you, Mr. Olseams, told me we only need 2 hours. And I know better. I know better. So I scheduled it for all day. I blocked my whole day off knowing better because it is taking Mr. Olseams, it's going to take him 3 hours to cross-examine Mr. Brimacombe. And then after you're done, we get to move on to redirect with Mr. Anderson. And then we get to move on to recross with you, probably for another 2 hours, of Mr. Brimacombe. And then we get to see if we have other witnesses. And then maybe you'll have a few minutes to provide your own testimony. Okay? So again, I would cut it a little bit short and I would get to the point a lot faster than you're getting. Because today's your day. All right? Because again, you only asked for a few hours and I gave you the whole day knowing better. So let's kind of do it a little quicker, okay?